Film travel. By watching lots of foreign films, I've seen a lot of places I've never been and don't expect to ever make it to. But I'd have only made the time and borne the cost to see them in the flesh if every trip I made included you. But that was not an option in the way my fate evolved. Despite my yen to wander around the world, life ran astray. And due to unpredictables, no chances came along, providing us with all we'd need to simply break away. Halfway through our junior years, we knew we'd be together, inseparable and bound to marry, crazy nuts in love. But when the unexpected happened, things got pushed aside, and all our plans for traveling, which we'd both been dreaming of, slid a little further out of reach. It's not uncommon. Babies tend to alter lives in less than subtle ways. And when our second child was born, we had to hire a sitter, 'cause struggling hard to make ends meet, we both were working days. 2 years later, we were blessed with one more mouth to feed, and blankies turned from pink to blue. We'd finally had a boy. The 5 of us were doing well, a family free of problems, when me and Connie noticed tiny signs that little Roy wasn't quite as quick to learn as both the girls had been. We talked to several specialists and did as we were told, but even that, along with boundless love and countless prayers, wasn't enough to let him reach the age of 5 years old. We talked of trying one more time to make ourselves a son, but broken hearts prevailed, and we moved on with what we had. But we have never once regretted having little Roy, nor having missed the traveling thing, to be his mom and dad. All the while the girls had grown, we'd contemplated moving, after they had graduated, probably to France. But knowing both of our moms and dads were struggling with their health, doing what was best again, we missed another chance. When Dawn and Heather flew the nest, we chilled a bit on moving, but still had hopes of taking off and touring foreign lands. Then diabetes took me by surprise. My knees went bad, and anyone who sees a bunch of doctors understands how the thrill of traveling tends to lessen in appeal. Touring on a scooter was a thought I couldn't abide. But long before I might have come to grips with giving in, we all were dealt another massive blow. My father died. Being there for Mother was of course the right decision, and taking her to see Dad's grave on Sunday afternoons offered more than one reward, 'cause as I'd walked the graveyard, I'd imagined being lost in medieval ruins. The church, which lay encircled by at least 1,000 stones with dates as long ago as 1591, played the part of ancient castle, home to those by whom most of the lives of those that lay around it had been run. Those at rest the closest to the church's weathered walls often came from foreign lands I yearned one day to see. And on the days I came alone, I'd read the older tombstones, guessing by their surnames what their native lands might be. But that's as close as, up till then, I'd ever come to being near enough to days of old to actually touch the past. Tracing out the chiseled names of folks from long ago, I'd close my eyes and vaguely see their distant worlds at last. 4 years later, Mother came to live with me and Connie. Still alert and fun to talk with, all was going great. But then, about a week before her 87th birthday, given she was not the type to be the least bit late, Connie ran upstairs to learn if she was needing help, or if she'd simply overslept. But that was not the case. We knew that she'd been dreaming of my father when she passed, 'cause never had we seen a sweeter smile upon her face. Connie's folks were younger, and in somewhat better health, yet not that far from needing live-in help to get them by. So, once again, we couldn't bring ourselves to run the risk of missing what would be their final hour if they should die. Her father lasted 3 more years, her mother nearly 8. And just as they'd intended to, the 4 now lay at rest, side by side, with matching stones that read, we're proud to say, "Our loving children gave up dreams to do what they felt best." Today, with all my issues that require pills and shots, and given Connie's not the sprightly gal she used to be, it's looking like the 2 of us will never tour the world, outside, of course, of watching older movies on TV. And as you might expect, we have a super big collection of vintage films that run from 35 to 62. And when we dim the lights and watch them, in our special way, I love to think I'm touring the world and doing it with you.